Does your plan consist of asking me if I have a plan?
No, my plan does not consist of asking you if you have a plan.
Because that's how my plans usually work.
No, my plan is to actually bring up some articles and to talk about them. That's the plan.
You should bring up my book.
What book?
No, my book.
What book? You don't have
like
a book. You
I
haven't
wrote
written a
the book. The book that I'm reading is really cool.
Where is it?
It's over there on the table.
Maybe I can reach it from here.
I've only just started. I've only just read like few first chapters, but it's really good.
Oh, there's not going to be a
Careful.
there's not going to be a podcast version of this. That's a mistake.
Ah.
That's a mistake.
Oh well. That's why it's called special.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that means if anything goes horribly wrong, which there's a high probability that something will go horribly wrong, then
there'll be no backup audio.
There's no backup audio.
Wow.
Mental note for the future.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow split.
Somehow rig up the phone and
somehow work out
record the audio.
Somehow work out.
Like this somehow. Sounds like a plan.
It's as good as it gets around here. It's while you're walking around imagining what activities to do with the kids, I'm walking around imagining what connector connects to what other connector that I can connect to other
You've got
things.
these cables in front of your face, imagining this could connect to this, and this could connect to that, and I can pump my microphone.
Well, you see, no, that's what you imagine. That's not what I imagine.
No.
No, it's much more technical than that. Right.
I don't believe that. I think you're just pretending.
Me?
I think it's actually all extremely simple. You're just making it out to be really, really difficult and complicated.
You think?
So that we appreciate. No, I'm just joking.
Okay, so you're reading this.
Yeah.
Right, which no one can see because of the contrast. You have to angle it.
No, you just have to put it closer to
It's not going to help it.
Yes, it is. Look.
Oh, okay.
See?
It's backwards.
Yeah. I'm not reading it backwards, though.
It's backwards.
I'm reading it forwards.
Okay. No one's going to... Paper. You know where the paper is, darling? Yeah, help yourself. Last time I said that, she did help herself to all of the paper. National bestseller, Learned Optimism, How to Change Your Mind and Your Life. What a really boring title.
I know, but it's actually really well written. It's written like a story, you know?
With a new preface. Oh, I have to buy it for the new preface. 0 out of 10 for marketing.
No, not a very good marketing, but the book is actually quite interesting.
By Martin E. P. Seligman.
Yeah.
FID.
I've just read a chapter on how they initiated the downfall of behaviorism.
Who are they?
Oh, the author plus his scientific team.
They initiated the downfall of behaviorism.
Or added to it significantly.
And how did they do that?
Oh, I was just reading a chapter where he describes an experiment they did on dogs.
You what now?
That went completely against the behaviorist ideas. I mean, the results of it proved the basic behaviorist ideas wrong, right? The basic behaviorist.
Why do they do these tests on dogs? Why don't they do them on people? I mean, what is the point of testing things on animals? Because animals are not people. People behave generally in different ways.
Yes, but apparently sometimes you can obviously you have to first evaluate whether the experiment that you're going to do can apply on people once it works out on animals. I don't know how they do it. They have some kind of logarithms. They've
got logs.
They do or whatever. I don't know. They have some kind of strategies.
How?
Yes, of course I can help this part.
That was part, she said, right?
This.
What's upside down?
It's to be helped.
Oh.
Like that. There you go, darling.
Disconnected.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. What was that?
It was my phone.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
That was your phone?
Feedback. Some kind of feedback.
That was your phone going through my computer?
I think so.
That's not good.
Anyway, so it's not important. It's not important what they did to the dogs, yada, yada, yada. I don't want to talk about it too much. But the point is that they
Although
basically...
it was cruelty to animals.
Was it? Was it not? I don't know. It's...
They do horrible things. They do horrible experiments. They ram electrodes into animals' heads and then stick them in front of televisions and force them to watch.
Who did?
It's what they do in major universities.
Do they?
Yeah. Yeah, and then they force them to watch, episodes of
soap operas. Dallas. I have to watch Dallas for 3 days in a row.
My mother was addicted to Dallas.
Really?
Yeah. She was completely addicted. She had to watch it it's like on every Wednesday night or something. She had to religiously. It was like a religion for her.
Talking about which, I went to a Catholic school when the Dallas was on here, right? And we had I went to Catholic primary school,
okay.
Right? And it was the same time when Dallas was on television here in Slovakia.
Okay.
And we would have our teachers telling us, like it would be on every weekend.
But telling you, like, it's immoral.
Yeah, and every Monday they would go, okay, who watched Dallas? And they would be like, no, nobody can watch Dallas, and you're not allowed to watch it. It's horrible. It's the devil himself, blah, 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 right?
Yeah, but you can read the Bible, which has, like, armies kidnapping kids and killing them and stuff. And that's perfectly okay, but you can't watch Dallas.
Yeah, that's, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right, you can read the Bible, which is like you will end up in hell with the devil if you don't
God
follow
wasn't happy, so he killed everybody off, right? That's
yeah. It's like except for one guy in a boat.
Yeah.
Right.
And a bunch of animals.
More animals survive than people, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just ridiculous. Anyway, I'm a bit sick of preaching virtuous activity, meanwhile teaching something completely different. So,
I found some. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I'm gonna have to think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking about the Bible the other day. I just remembered. Yeah, because I was loading up the dishwasher. And I was thinking about the Bible.
That one over there behind the computer.
Naturally, as you do, right? Because
because I've never loaded up the dishwasher.
Because I was thinking about how parenting changes you, right? How becoming a parent changes a lot of things inside your psychology, right?
Yes.
You just basically start to care much more, right? And I was thinking about the Bible, and I was thinking, okay, well, the Bible is divided in two parts, right? You've got the Old Testament and you've got the New Testament. It's not
really divided into two parts. I mean, it was rewritten.
Yeah. Anyway, the Old Testament is like pre-Christ, right? And the New Testament is like Christ period.
What do you mean the Old Testament is pre-Christ? You mean
the pre-Christ?
You mean the Old Testament doesn't talk about anything that happened after Christ?
No. The Old Testament deals with the time period before Christ was born. It's got all the prophets in it, and it's got all that Noah's Ark stuff and
seriously, I mean, I really didn't know that.
The Egyptians escaping from, or whoever it was, escaping from the Egyptians. Yes, darling?
So, Moses and his tribe.
Yes.
What's up, Jazzy?
What's up? What's with the paper?
Would you like some paper?
Zora doesn't want to share the paper with you. Okay, we'll tell her. Zora? Can you please go and get some paper for Jasmine? Darling.
Would you like me to get some paper for you?
Zora, can you please go and help Jazzy?
Do you know where the paper is, Jazzy? Do you know where it is? It's under my desk. You can go get some yourself. Go on, I trust you. You go under the table in the bedroom.
Not this table.
Under the table in the bedroom, and there's lots of paper there.
Zora,
Don't you have any paper here? Oh.
Zora, go and help Jasmine. Shoop, shoop. 3, 2, 1.
She's not going to help.
Go.
Well, Zora, could you get some more paper, please? She's not going to help.
She's not listening at all, is she? She's just like...
Well, let's try the other one.
Ignoring completely.
Thank you, darling.
Thank you, Zora.
Thank you.
Just get some paper for Jazzy. She wants to draw as well.
She started to copy Will now. She like hits herself on the head when she's not happy with something.
Anyway, so the Old Testament is basically the period pre-Christ.
I haven't checked. I haven't checked.
You haven't checked about
the streams.
Oh,
whether it's going out okay.
I thought you were talking about the Bible.
The Bible.
And the New Testament is basically post-Christ, okay? And there's a big difference between these two, right? Because in the Old Testament, you've got this horrible, cruel, vengeful God, okay, who kills off humanity because he's not happy, and who punishes children for the sins of their parents and stuff like that, right? Mm-hmm. And in the New Testament, you've got this kind, merciful God who like forgives the sins.
They just changed the God.
They
got a new
basically
one. They got a new one.
Basically, right? The God just like turned like 360, right? And that's the whole circle. Probably turned like 180 degrees. Right?
I didn't realize that. And God did a 360.
He didn't do a pirouette
on his wakeboard.
Yeah, you know, and in the Old Testament it's all horrible, and in the New Testament it's so nice and kind and merciful and forgiving, right?
Right. Well, you went to the Christian school. Look, and we've got here. Look, we can pull this up. The Old Testament, abbreviated OT.
The OT.
OT for those.
Sounds like some kind of psychological thing.
It's like goatee.
So it's like
Wait. Can I use the miracles of technology to make this larger?
Oh.
Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. There we go. The Old Testament, abbreviated OT, is the first part of Christian Bibles based primarily upon the
content table, composition, themes, formation, declaring
a collection of ancient religious writings by the Israelites, believed by many Christians and religious Jews to be the sacred word of God.
Scroll down a bit so I can see the contents, so that we can find the information that we want to find.
Okay. The Old Testament contains Christian 39 theology. Protestant of 46 Catholic or more Orthodox books, divided very broadly into the Torah, I can't pronounce the other word, the historical books, the wisdom books of the prophet. And here we go. Of course, many books were not actually included that could have been included, written by different people. There are no dates mentioned there. And what's interesting is that they weren't greatly studied in English until the 1611 King James Version, or the Tyndale Bible, which was about 50 years before that. Tyndale was, of course, executed for translating the Bible into English, because that's what they did back then, right? Thank goodness we don't get executed for making posts on Facebook now. Yet. They excommunicate you in different ways now, right? They just cut off your marketing and other things. What did you want anyway? What information?
Well, we were checking whether the Old Testament covered anything about Jesus, but I don't think so.
So the Old Testament is all pre-Christ, yeah?
Yes, and the New Testament is Christ and on, right?
Okay.
And I just found a parallel right, between that and a person's life. Because if you look at the Bible, it seriously does look like God has changed, right? It looks like God changed by becoming a parent. Or
God, you mean God became
not necessarily consequently in the Bible, but definitely the time concurrence is there, right? Because pre-Christ, it was this scary, horrible God who's going to, punish your children of your children if you sin, right? And after he had a kid, suddenly he became forgiving and merciful, and he's like much more chilled.
How would you describe the difference between the Old Testament and the New Testament? Well, God was kind of more chilled, right?
This is very crude. I don't know. If my sister watches this, it's a good idea. Hey, I'm gonna send this link to my sister. I'm gonna go, sis, I'm talking to you right now. Just
Oh,
you're
check it out.
Probably going to think that I'm talking rubbish, right?
I know you guys can't see anything because the contrast is bad, but
there's a sunflower.
There's a beautiful green stemmed and leaved flower that's on the grass with a lovely yellow head on it.
That looks like a sun.
Yeah.
Oh, look, and Jasmine drew something.
You know what would be cool, darling? It would be really cool if you could go around the outline in a darker color so we can see it a little bit better. Think you'd be able to do that for her? What?
Jasmine drew you.
What do you mean she drew me? Let me have a look. Excuse my language.
Can't you see the resemblance? I see it.
Well, if she said that was you, I'd be like untidy. Yes, I get it. But guys, that's great. Can you do some more for us? Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, yeah, so my sister's probably going to go like, oh my God, she's speaking so much rubbish, oh my God. But I thought that was quite an interesting parallel, because it's almost like a person, because when a person becomes a parent, right, they kind of become more self-aware and
do you think there's a link between a parent and a parent?
Did I mispronounce it?
No, I just hear things differently because my ear is tuned that way.
I don't know, but I was just, I was thinking that's interesting.
Okay, so what's the
Anyway, let's go back to my book.
We'll go back to the book, but I want to check the we're doing this in live time. I want to check the etymology of parent.
Okay, that's interesting.
So we go
that comes from Latin.
Online dictionary of etymology. We get parent as a verb, 1660s, parent as a noun earlier. It's interesting because it's usually a verb before it's a noun, but here it says it's a noun but before. Oh my gosh. We have received communications.
Oh. Just one communication.
And no. Look, it's a series.
Only two.
Series of two. A series of works. Maybe one is me and one is you. What do you think?
Jasmine, do you think you can draw Daddy?
No one's going to be able to see.
Can you draw Daddy's face?
No one's going to be able to see.
Can you draw somebody else's face?
I like those. They were very colorful.
Can you draw Kubo with eyes and mouth and hair? Try that.
And the nose as well.
So go on.
What, we're going to do the noun or the verb?
Do the noun.
The noun.
The verb's just going to tell you that it came from the noun.
But that's backwards, because things are usually verbs before they're nouns. It's usually an action before it's an activity. Okay. So, parents, noun, early 15th century, Old French parent, father, parent, from the Latin parentem, nominative parens, father or mother, ancestor. It's really boring.
Yeah.
Noun of present participle pare, bring forth, to give birth, to produce. Began to replace the native elder. Parents were previously known as elders. Okay. Began to replace elder. So
yes,
what is...
but I meant to produce, to bring forth.
Look, it doesn't give me an option to open it in a new tab.
Did you? Oh wow! Look, that looks more like it.
I'm speechless.
That's beautiful, Jasmine.
For
Thank you.
obvious reasons,
That's
if
so
you're on this side of
cute.
the camera.
She just drew such a cute portrait.
You know what it reminds me of? Those scary children's cartoons. Like, what's that one with the cloth doll that's actually a character?
Oh,
It's got
the Nightmare Before Christmas or
no,
something
no,
like
no,
that?
no, 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 no. Is it called Stitch or Nine or?
Oh, 9.
Maybe 8 or 7. I don't know. I mean,
9 is one with the little cloth robots that look
yeah,
freaky.
yeah. That reminds me of that a little bit.
Just remind me.
Here you go, darling.
That's
You're
beautiful,
back.
darling.
That's
You
great.
can draw another one.
Okay, so elder, Old English merci in eldra comparative of ald, which is still used in Scottish. Have you know? Ald Aberdeen. See old. Only English survival of umlaut in comparative. What does that even mean?
I don't even know where you are.
I'm reading the top, elder, as an adjective.
Oh, there.
Like a translation of Japanese
more
general,
old.
plural. Yeah. Senior citizen, older. Boring, boring. Type of tree. Okay. Do girls need help? Or that's it, Zora. Pull it down.
You can undo the stickers at the front.
It's potty time.
Undo the stickers at the front of the nappy.
Oh. You're going to have to talk. I'm going to have to run and save the day.
Okay. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, Daddy's going to save the day, the potty, and I think I should check my thing just to make sure it didn't turn itself off, because I keep leaning against the bench, and that's probably not very good for it. Yeah. Yeah. This is not very exciting. This elder etymology.
You have to make it exciting.
It's just not. Type of berry tree. Elder is a type of berry tree.
Okay. Boring. Boring. I get the point. Boring. Okay. Parent as a noun. We were there, weren't we? Okay. Parent as a verb. I was just curious. Apparently, it has no hidden meaning. I thought there might be something that we could.
Mom, Josie peed.
But the potty makes a noise when she pees, and it's not making a noise.
Maybe you're just not hearing it, darling, because it makes the noise real quiet.
It makes the noise real quiet.
It makes the noise real quiet.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
How come I can hear it through the whole flat normally? Is that quiet?
I don't know.
Okay. Anyway, I think the online etymology dictionary has changed its approach to providing information about words recently. They completely redesigned the site, and I found much less information about vocabulary there than was there previously. I think that they are
strange that they should remove information. They should spend their energy, on removing information. It's kind of backwards, no?
I don't know. Right. I wanted to have a look at some articles. So I'm not quite sure how we got onto the biblical stuff.
Well, we were talking about the learned optimism.
All right. Okay. Oh, the book.
Yeah.
And you were talking about how God became a parent in the New Testament, kind of like a father figure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all sort of.
I just found a little parallel while I was loading up the dishwasher that it's almost like parenting changed the God from this horrible God to this cool God, right? And it was like when a person becomes parent, it forces them to introspect, and often it helps them to deal with whatever unresolved things were haunting them from their previous life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they become more peaceful in general.
Do you mean unresolved things from their previous life? What do you? Excuse me?
Previous life, I mean the life they lived up until the point they became parents.
Oh, okay.
Not the previous life. I mean, not like in the past life I was an Amazonian warrior, right?
Right. Okay. I get it.
I mean that.
I get it.
Yeah. Anyway, so this book is really cool. I've just read a chapter about learned helplessness, which is just at the beginning of the book. I mean, I haven't read through the whole thing yet, but the chapter was very interesting because it was talking about how people learn to be helpless.
Okay, originally when you said you read about learned helplessness, what I said was that, is that when you are actually taught to become dependent upon someone rather than independent.
No, it's how you learn to be passive. You could maybe I think if you stretch it.
This is the rainbow and this is the sky. This is the grass.
Oh, okay. Rainbow.
I think Jazz needs to wipe her butt, Daddy.
Would you like me to go and do it?
Yeah.
Or okay. So you're quite happy talking about the.
Yeah. If you don't mind missing it.
I do mind missing it, but needs must.
You can watch it.
I can watch it later.
Yeah.
Okay. This is if it's going out okay, and as I go away, I'm going to go and test whether or not the streams are working. Oh, you're bringing the tissues as well.
Okay, so for me it was like that moment when you make connections, right, and you realize, okay, this is extremely logical, and I probably already knew this on some level, some subconscious level, right, because it all sounds so familiar, but you never really realized, you never really verbalized how it actually works, and it just makes everything so much clearer, right? So this guy Seligman pointed out that people learn to be passive when they learn to be helpless. And he pointed out that helplessness is learned. That is so busy out there wiping butts of everyone. He made the connection that you become helpless, or you learn to be helpless when nothing you do has an impact on the situation, right? So whatever you do, whatever you try, it doesn't change the situation that you are trying to change by your action. That's when you start feeling helpless. Then that's when you learn that you are helpless, and consequently you become passive, and you don't try to change the situation anymore because there is no point, right? And he originally found this out during an experiment on dogs, but apparently it applies to people as well. And what they did, his premise was like, okay, well, if now that we've established that you can learn to be helpless, is it possible to unlearn to be helpless? Now, theoretically, everything that you learn, you should be able to unlearn. Right, so he went back to the dogs, and he tried to make them unlearn to be helpless, and they succeeded. Basically, they helped them to overcome the passiveness in the situation by consistently helping them to make an impact, to make a difference in their situation. So they would physically make the dog. You can't really make somebody to be active, but they were active for the dogs, right? They would physically move it, basically. And they would repeat it so many times that the dog learned that his actions actually matter, and that he can change the situation he's in by being active, by not being passive. So this should theoretically work with people as well. So if somebody learns because of their early experiences that they don't matter, that their actions don't matter, that they don't make a difference at all, and they become passive, you can always teach them, or they can always learn that they are not helpless if their actions start making a difference. If they realize, okay, if I move in this situation, if I do something in this situation, it's going to make a difference, and I'm going to have an effect. And they've actually found out that once they taught this, they have found a way to immunize. He didn't give any details, but apparently they found a ways to immunize the dogs against helplessness. And these dogs that were immune against helplessness not only did not become helpless easily, but they've also taught their puppies these skills, basically. So it's I know dogs are not humans, okay, but this is the same, right? Because human parents also pass on skills to their children.
What did I miss? I'm back. What did I miss?
I just told very, very shortly. Okay, I'll just sum it up. These guys pointed out that passivity comes from learned helplessness, and you learn to be helpless when nothing you do has an impact, when nothing you do makes a difference in a certain situation.
When you can't change anything.
Yes. When you're in a bad situation, but whatever you do, nothing changes, you become helpless and you become passive and you stop trying, right?
Because you can't affect anything. You have no control.
But the thing is, that now this wasn't in the book, this is me talking, right? The thing is that once you learn it in one situation, you carry it with you, right? And it might have made sense in that situation when you learn to be helpless, right? But it doesn't make sense later on in your life, because maybe you'll be in situations where you can make a change, when you can make a difference, but you have learned to be helpless. And therefore you think you can't do anything, and you're passive. You're passive in a situation where, you could just, by consistent activity, you could really, change things, but you don't. Because you've learned that you can't, which is bull. Which is bull. So and the point was that because it's something that you learn, you can also unlearn it. Okay, so if somebody comes to you,
easier said than done.
Yes, of course it's easier said than done. But if somebody helps you with it, or if somebody comes to you, points this out to you. Maybe helps you to to be active, just by being active, by getting out of your comfort zone and beating the passivity and being active, even though you don't know if it's going to make a change. The more you're active, the more change you make, the more difference you make, the more you learn that you are not helpless, and the more you will be able to be consistent with activity rather than being passive.
Well, action creates action.
Yes, but activity and as I said at the beginning, it's one of those things that is extremely simple, and that you think, when you hear it, you think like, well, I knew that, right? At some kind of subconscious level, but you never really verbalize it. You never. It's very clearly put in the book, and every time I read something, it's like they make a shape out of a piece of clay, It was somewhere there, but I never really made sense of it. Yes, darling.
Okay. What's up, Zora? You want to stick it on something?
Maybe the sticky parts are off it.
Maybe it's not sticky anymore, darling.
I can put some new sticky parts on it, but first we will finish this video with Daddy, okay? Okay.
Super. Okay.
Okay.
Right. So we've had a sort of rambling discussion for the first part today. So that was a little bit of an experiment. Let's have a look at a couple of articles, right?
Okay.
Because this is sort of what
somebody's playing with the switch, with the light switch. I think it's Jazz. Jasmine.
Maybe that's why the lights are not working.
Jasmine.
Properly.
That light has been alright. There's the other light that wasn't working, and it was not because of Jazz.
It's because of something else. Okay. Well, somebody is switching on and switching off rapidly the light through there. So
Jasmine, can you stop it, please, darling?
No, you're going to break the
Jazzy,
switch and there'll be no lights, darling.
Thank you.
There we go. Right.
Hope that worked.
Yeah. Piece of advice?
Don't touch the microphone.
No, don't, as you've been playing with it for the last 2 minutes. Please
Yeah,
don't.
but I needed to, because I was yelling. I didn't want to yell in people's ears.
Okay, let me explain what you do if you have to yell.
Mm.
Right? Pick it up like this away from the mic, and then you put this back on. Okay?
Okay.
That's what you do. You don't grab the mic and run your hands over it, because when you grab it, it goes on the inside because it's picking up you grabbing it. Yeah.
But isn't this a magical foamy thing that should eliminate?
The only
These
magical
things.
foamy things are in your brain, darling. Okay.
I
This is
know I have a
technical stuff.
magical brain. Thank you.
There we go. Rainbows and unicorns. It's all rainbows and unicorns.
And magical foamy things.
Yes, in color. Right. Because rainbows in black and white make no sense. Right. I wanted to bring up an article.
Okay.
Here we go.
Childhood obesity is skyrocketing across America, and Big Pharma can't wait for a future wave of patients needing drugs for everything. Okay. Stop.
Sorry?
Stop.
Stop.
See, I have a problem with titles like this.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just removing the ads.
I have a problem
From
with
the
titles
page.
like this because childhood obesity is skyrocketing across America. Stop.
What?
Finish. Because saying Big Pharma can't wait for a new wave of patients, that's someone's opinion. Okay, it's not based on a fact.
Sorry, I can't beat the Google. You know what? Google puts
You
these
don't have-
Google puts these advertisements here to get you not to read things by putting really horrible things on the
Yeah.
page.
Oh,
right?
eggs are okay. Eggs are not a horrible thing.
Yeah, until you see what happens when you scroll anywhere near it, and then you go, "Oh my gosh!" Right? So they're
right.
designed. Someone just give me a teddy bear here.
Anywho, you know what I'm saying? Saying that Big Pharma can't wait for future wave of patients. It's just somebody's opinion. It's not a fact. You don't have all these doctors waving their hands or all these
Well,
pharmaceutical
you don't know until you read the
people
article, do you?
waving their hands saying, "Ooh, new patients, we're so happy."
Well, I mean, the aim of the industry is to have permanent customers, isn't it?
Yeah, that's okay, but it's not if it's not supported by facts directly in the article.
That's a fact. There's going to be
Then you
juice all over
can't
the
have it
floor
in
if
the
Jazzy
title.
gets her way over there.
Yeah, sure. Bring a cup from the living room. There are some cups in the living room. Bring us a cup, and I'll pour the juice for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. There are cups in the living room that Zora put there in the picnic. Zora, can you bring a cup for Juju? Thank you.
She's not going to work.
What's the kid eating? Is
What?
that a hot dog?
Just a random picture of somebody
Eating.
stuffing something in their cake hole. Right. Okay.
That's great,
Yeah.
darling. Bring it here.
Mhm.
Zora, bring it here. Well, help her pour it then, because she won't be able to
I'm
pour
going
it
to
by
stay out
herself.
of this one.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm not watching.
What's happening?
They're pouring juice.
Yeah. Okay. Pour it together. Very careful. 2 hands, darling.
Together.
It's lucky that you guys can't see what we can see. Yeah. Okay. It's commentary on the commentary.
She's pouring it.
2 hands.
Is she going to
and-
knock down the cup?
and
No, she's not.
there we go.
Now Jasmine wants to try. I bet you Jasmine
That
wants to
that's
try.
good. Try the drink, Jazzy, and see what you think.
Have a drink.
No.
Oh, she wants more water in it. Can you get that green bottle over there? Sorry.
Darling, the bottle is. She's going in.
Right next to the... Oh,
She's,
never mind.
She's gone. She's gone in the
she's
wrong
got a bottle there.
direction.
Look.
No.
Okay, super cool, Zora. Very clever. Can you open it?
It's open. It's got no top on it.
Oh my God.
2 hands.
No. She's doing fine. It's better to hold the cup.
Yeah.
Super.
We're more worried than she is about
Oh my
that.
God. Now that was adrenaline.
Something like that. Okay. So, according to the article,
Mm-hmm.
look, I was trying to use ad blocker. Ad blocker is supposed to get rid of these ads.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Super ad
Block
blocker.
this ad.
Block this
ad.
ad, right?
Mhm. There we go.
Slide the slide until the ad is blocked correctly on the page.
It is blocked
okay.
correctly.
That's okay.
Just leave it.
Looks good.
Okay.
Okay, I'll leave that because last time I
Yeah.
clicked on that,
It disappeared.
stuff happened. Okay, parents lead their. Of course, that is now blocking me highlighting the text. This being on the page is now blocking me highlighting the text.
Parents lead their children by example, and today's youth are suffering in a big way because of their poor role models. Ooh. America has an obesity epidemic with more than a third of adults now falling into. Excuse me.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me. It's Google. Google is
now falling into this
go.
category. Therefore, it's hardly surprising that childhood obesity is also skyrocketing, given the bad example many parents are setting for their little ones. What's that noise?
Does sound like water being.
Maybe Will's being. No, we'll find out.
It's like a fire hose being sprayed around the bathroom.
Yeah.
The mouse is stuck. It won't move.
Anyway,
there it is.
In fact, a new study shows that the number of obese kids and teens is a remarkable 10 times higher than it was just 40 years ago. Wow. With the number of obese kids around the world reaching 124 million. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, meanwhile, the half the world is starving, right?
Check this out. 50 million girls and 74 million boys across the planet are obese.
After analyzing data from 2,400 studies tracking the height and weight of 32 million kids between the ages of 5 and 19, it was estimated that 50 million girls and 74 million boys across the planet are obese. Poor nutrition and insufficient exercise were cited in the study as reasons for the problem.
Yeah.
Well, it's obvious. It's like you don't need to be a rocket scientist to, like, if someone is fat, they're not taking enough exercise and they're eating the wrong kinds of food.
Being obese isn't just bad for the kids' health, it can also cause psychological and social problems for them. Obese kids may get bullied or suffer from low self-esteem, and it can also affect their performance in school.
Very true.
Go, 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 go! She needs to pee again.
Again? Mm-hmm. She's peed like a couple of minutes. She's got the nappy on. Zora, can you help her, please? Can you get her on to the potty, please?
Next generation.
Remember, don't put the potty on the carpet.
Statin and diabetes drug customers.
Where are we?
It can also spur the early onset of problems like diabetes, heart disease, and cancer, which is
awfully convenient from Big Pharma's point of view. In fact, obese children are good for business as far as they are concerned. I'm sorry, I'm jumping in and taking over. Is that okay?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah, you don't mind?
No. No. I'm just looking at that, and again, they're in that opinion writing, you know.
Oh, it's opinion rather than fact. It's not presenting fact.
I don't like this in journalism.
Yeah, except the fact that it is actually obvious.
Yes, but it discredits the article completely. It just makes it easier to be attacked by critics, and it's just
opinion. What would you call that? Opinion journalism? Non-professional journalism?
Tendency. Tendency.
I don't know what it is. Intentional?
It's like it's got a certain, yeah. Like it's got an agenda.
Did she pee?
Yes. Zora peed as well.
Yeah?
Again.
Zora?
I think.
Zora's been running around the middle of the kitchen.
Yeah?
Yes.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yes.
What was she shouting? She's shouting that Jasmine peed.
I don't know. Anyway, if you want to scroll down, you can use the mouse on this page.
Okay.
Don't click anywhere near this image at the bottom here. Okay. Because the logo
can I scroll with,
horribly wrong.
Can I scroll with this, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you're going to get close to the image at the bottom. It's just technical sort of.
Yeah, I get it.
Stuff.
Got too low. Super. Anyway, obese kids are more likely to suffer from depression. Yes, I will. According to the CDC, so there will be a steady stream of future customers who they might be able to convince that expensive antidepressants are worth taking. This is quite funny, actually, from my point of view, because being overweight doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be depressed or that you're going to have a low self-esteem. I think that these external factors add to it, but I think you can have a low self-esteem from any other external factor as long as you don't learn how to, as long as you don't learn about your self-worth, basically. If you're strong, if a child has a strong basis in their self-worth, then they're not going to have a low self-esteem just because they're obese. I mean, I know a lot of people. Not a lot of people. I know some people. I don't know a lot of overweight people, okay? I know some overweight people, and I know some overweight people who have absolutely no problem with being overweight, right? I mean, you can go outside in the middle of the summer here. You can go to the pool, and you've got lots and lots and lots of people who are both obese or overweight, and they're just, wandering around in bikini, and they don't give a damn. They're okay. They're happy. So I don't think that obesity. Yeah, okay, statistically, perhaps. Well, if they say that according to the CDC, I suppose they do have some kind of statistics that say that obese people are more depressed. I imagine it might also have to do with hormonal levels. It could be connected to low performance of your thyroid gland, which results in both obesity and depression, as it slows down your metabolism. So I believe that statistically it can be connected, yes, but I don't know. I think it has to be taken with a grain of salt, actually. I think there are factors that are more determining or important or determining when it comes to depression and low self-esteem than just your physical appearance.
Okay. Okay, let me try a little experiment here on the page as we're experimenting with this idea today. If I take this image here and I move this up here like this to the top. Try not to yawn.
Can I read
this
meanwhile?
Down here like this.
When those drugs fail to work.
Oh, look at this. I'm moving I love it when I move my finger down on the mouse pad and everything on the screen goes up.
Of course. When those drugs fail to work and cause side
does
effects,
that make it easier to
I'm
asking
a
question.
Not really. Hi.
What? Again?
It doesn't really make it easier to read.
Like the fourth time in 20 minutes.
It's perfectly fine with just reading it as it was, but it does look a bit more tidy, I think.
Well, the point is to try to make it look tidy.
A bit neater, yeah.
And to get rid of things that are distracting.
Go and wipe the butts.
Although I'd rather have this thing at the bottom than at the top. But anyway, it was just I will go and do it. I will go and do it. I was just looking at this, the aesthetic elements of presentation, which I care about.
Anyway, when those drugs fail to work and cause side effects, they'll be able to sell them even more drugs that might help counter those effects. They'll also be able to sell more diabetes drugs to this group whose parents were likely obese themselves. Fail to set a good example and show them what a big difference eating healthy and exercising can make. Yes, and again, I disagree with the way that this paragraph is written, because while it does make sense that the more side effects you have to treat, the more medicine you're going to be taking, and we all know that it's a vicious cycle that just gonna blend you with more and more and more drugs and worse health. It is written in a way that makes you imagine some kind of big bad guy, rubbing his hands and going, ha 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 ha, this is great, let's make them all obese, this is all our big plan. And we don't know if it is, okay? It might as well be, but we don't know that. We don't have any facts, okay? We do have the facts that more medicines added for, because you have we have the facts that the antidepressants have brutal side effects. We know for a fact that adding more medicines is not going to make people healthy in this situation, but we don't know about the intentions behind it. We don't know for a fact. Therefore, I think that the way that it's written is a little bit, agenda-ish. Childhood obesity could even have a negative impact on our military, with one nonprofit warning that 70% of teens in Colorado are ineligible for military service, largely because of their weight. Being overweight means potential recruits would be unable to keep up with the rest of the group, costing lives on the battlefield and putting fellow soldiers at risk.
Oh, darling.
So if something happens, basically Americans couldn't defend themselves because they're fat. Bluntly put.
Well, it would save them from joining the military and getting shot, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So, right.
With more than 1 out of every 5 young Americans being obese, a serious change is needed. In addition to an unhealthy diet and a lack of exercise, the World Health Organization said that the low price of unhealthy food compared to more nutritious alternatives was a big part of the problem. Yeah, that's actually quite interesting, because we were, one of the mommy forums, there was a question that, do you cook from scratch? And so a lady wrote, I can't afford it. Whereas in Slovakia, it is cheaper to cook from scratch, okay? It is cheaper for me to buy a bag of dried beans for 80 cents, right? Rather than a bean soup in a can, okay? For €1.50 or whatever. It is still cheaper for me to cook from scratch than it is to buy processed food and microwave it. If I did that, which we don't, right? Do we even have we don't even have a microwave.
We have a microwave.
Where is it? Is it there?
It's behind. It's up there.
Yeah. Is it like pushed to the back? Or, I don't even. Oh yeah, it's where we put our phones. Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't.
Okay.
We're not microwavy kind of people, really.
No, we don't use it because it kills everything.
It does. I mean, it kills the bad stuff. It kills the good stuff as well, though. It's a bit like those cancer drugs. Anyway.
When I was pregnant, my friend wrote me a message. The one who gave me this book, by the way, wrote me a message, and she said, "Don't open the microwave."
What, when you're pregnant?
When I was pregnant, she wrote, she was like, "You're pregnant. You can't open the microwave." She was like, "When you're microwaving something, right? If you want to microwave something, then you first have to make sure that the microwave has stopped before you open, because sometimes you stop the microwave just by opening the door, right?" And she was like, "Don't do that. It's good to microwave your baby." I was like, okay.
Okay, we're getting issues on the Facebook stream.
I'm having issues with these things again.
It's your ears are the wrong shape.
They get hurt by these futuristic, alien-looking.
They're not futuristic. They're very nice,
weird things.
Comfortable. They're the best ones that you can get on the market.
Comfortable. I just have to put them like this. I have to put them like this to squish my ears together rather than hook them on them, because it's. What's the problem with the stream? Is there a problem with the stream?
Yeah. I was double checking it. It says, look, because it says here you need to. It says on the in the tech stuff you need to reload this page, but obviously if you reload the page, you can lose all the data. So I mean, they're obviously messing with us again.
Yeah.
The way that they do.
Parents need to take responsibility for their kids' weight, absolutely. But you see, the problem is that often when parents try to take responsibility for their kids' weight, they do it the wrong way, right? So what they often do is they will go like, okay, you need to exercise more. They send them to sports practice, and they're like, okay, you shouldn't eat that much, blah, blah, blah. But they don't model the correct behavior. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, of course, if you buy 3 bags of chips and put them in the cupboard, the child's going to go and grab one and eat it, right?
Okay. Two things. Number one,
yeah,
you can't eat shit if you don't buy shit.
Exactly.
So, saying that the kids eat junk food, well, the kids only eat what the parents buy for them. So it's the parents' fault, not the kids' fault. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
And the second thing is, please don't take your kids to a fast food restaurant. It's not cool. It's not fashionable. It's not trendy. It's not intelligent. Don't take them to McDonald's. Don't take them to Burger King. Don't take them to Kentucky Fried Chicken. Don't take them to any place like that.
But it's convenient because then they don't have to cook.
It's not convenient when your child's going to have diseases later in life because you're too lazy to cook.
Yeah.
There you go. Too lazy to cook.
I mean, cooking.
Prepare.
Honestly, cooking is not always fun. Okay, I mean, these fast food people often think, it's the excuse mentality. They often think, oh, but I don't like cooking. All these people who cook healthy, they must love cooking. Well, no. It's the same mentality that my children have when they think that I love tidying up. I don't, okay? I don't do it because I love it.
You don't love tidying up?
I do it because it's the right thing to do.
In every job that must be done, there is an element of fun.
There is an element of fun, and I told you that I can put on some Glee music and put an element of fun in. But yeah, I cook a lot, and I don't particularly always enjoy it. There, I said it.
Elephants, that's what I say. I say more elephants, never enough.
Although I am about to bake bread, which I do enjoy. It's very relaxing.
You're going to bake a cake?
Bread. I said bread.
Cake?
Do you want cake?
Cake?
I can bake a cake.
That carrot cake was phenomenal last week.
I could make a carrot cake. I have no idea where that recipe came from. I'm going to have to search my memory, my browser memory.
The internet, I believe.
Yeah. No, I don't want to. I don't want to bake the same carrot cake because I used the wheat flour and like tons of sugar. That's why you liked it. I'd like to make a carrot cake which would be a bit healthier, maybe with coconut flour and honey or something.
Coconut.
Which is probably not going to be as tasty because there's not going to be as much drugs in it. Sugar is a drug.
A very good one at that, right? Shall we finish the article?
Yeah, sure.
That'll be the hour.
So parents need to take a more proactive approach when it comes to keeping their children at a healthy weight. It might be tempting for today's overworked, frazzled parents to park their kids in front of the TV or a tablet while they get housework done. But a few minutes of peace this might buy you in the short term will almost certainly cause problems in the long run. Now, you can have your housework done when you kick your kids out of the house and put them on their bikes and tell them to go out and bicycle. So that's not an excuse, right? I mean, you can send them out to Thai boxing lesson or whatever. Parents need to be encouraging their kids to spend time outdoors and be more active, as I just said. Whether it's by joining a sports team, dancing to their favorite songs, or simply walking around the neighborhood. They also need to prepare healthy meals. Yes. Those who are on a light budget aren't stuck buying cheap, unhealthy processed foods. They could try growing their own fruits and vegetables, for example, and making a fun family project out of it, which would have the added benefit of getting kids outside into the vitamin D boosting sunshine and fresh air. Yeah, I remember. I remember at some point when my mom was actually quite tight for money, and you have binoculars.
Yeah, plastic helps make excellent binoculars.
Perfect.
When you're 2.5.
Yeah, I remember when my mom was one time she got fired at the end of a school year, right? And she needed to find a job within 2 months of summer holiday. But it meant that during the 2 months she had like basically no basically no income. Yeah, only the like unemployment little bit that they give you. And she did manage to find a job within the 2 months of summer, which is also very stressful for her. But I remember that we just ate like squash, right? We ate a lot of squash and a lot of tomatoes, a lot of carrots, and more squash and more squash because the garden was full of squash, right? So you can basically survive on whatever your garden gives you if you have a garden. So that's cool. That's a tongue.
I do my tongue thing. It requires a greater effort, and most of us are already pressed for time, but it's a worthwhile investment into your child's future and longevity. Yes, you're white in color, yes. It will pay off in spades throughout their lifetime as they avoid many of the health issues and dangerous medications that their overweight peers will be subjected to. Welcome to Voice of Slovakia Radio.
Yeah. Just cook. Get over it. Cook.
Get over it.
Cook. Do something for yourself and for your children, right?
Yeah, and if
you're not
your children
helpless,
see you cooking, they're going to want to cook as well.
You have learned helplessness, but you're not helpless.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Wow. Boom.
Boom. Don't be passive.
Drop the mic. Boom. Just because you have learned helplessness does not mean you're helpless. Oh, would you want to move off, darling? Okay.
You know, people may feel like nothing they do makes any difference when they're really overweight, right? Because you can't see the results immediately, maybe when you start exercise and eating healthy. But if you stick to it, just for 1 month.
No, I think that's the wrong way to look at it, right?
No, you didn't let me finish. If you stick to it just for 1 month, after 1 month, you start seeing the results. You start feeling the results. And once you start feeling the results, that's what pushes you on. That's just what drives the curiosity. And I found out that exercising from the positive place rather than from the negative place keeps you going further. Right, makes you go further, because if you're in the negative place, and if you're like, I'm fat and I'm horrible and I'm disgusting and whatever, and I hate my body, so I have to exercise to get better. That's not a good place to be in. But if you just let go of all judgment and you find the curiosity, right, and you just go, what happens if I do this, right, and then you see first results and you feel first results, and then you go, okay, well, what if I up it a little bit, right? What if I continue? Where can I get? Okay, where will I be in 1 week? And then once you get to the end of that week, you go, how much further can I push it?
Okay.
And I find that approach to be more motivating than looking at myself in the mirror thinking that just looks disgusting.
Yeah, I think it needs to be a scalable approach. As I get run over by my food gets run over by a Porsche.
Because I've done that. I think every woman did that, especially after they've had kids. You know, you've had that point where you looked at yourself in the mirror and you just went like you just could cry, right?
Yeah,
go.
You could cry, but that's the challenge, isn't it? And you know, things are the way they are for all of the right reasons to a certain extent.
Yeah, and a lot of women that are overweight use children as excuses. They would go like, "Oh, but I had 3 kids."
Yeah, I don't buy that as a reason for bad health.
Yeah, it's like, "Oh, but I put on weight when I was pregnant with my third child." Well, yeah, guess what? We all did.
Yeah,
you know?
and here's something to think about as well, which I've never heard anybody else say this. But think about how the husband feels, right? In that kind of situation where the woman says, well, I had 3 kids and I just put on weight and I'm not prepared to do anything about it.
Deal with it.
How
Boom.
How demotivating is that for the husband, right? I mean, the husband's like, well, you know, it is what it is, but it doesn't have to always be like that. You know,
if the husband
today doesn't have to be forever.
If the husband has a growth kind of mindset, right, and the woman has a fixed kind of mindset, then she'll be comfortable with her excuses in her little, you know, big new shape. And the husband's probably
look, some things
like,
change naturally, right?
Things.
I mean, you can. There's a lot of pressure on women to look good. It's unfair. It's unjust. It's unnatural.
But it's not about just looking good. You know, this is the problem. This is where I find the problem, because too many people focuses on looking good. Okay. There are a lot of good campaigns, you know, about self-love, about loving your body, about getting used to it, about appreciating all your body parts and everything. And that is great. That is great. But we are not talking, just to make it clear, we are not talking about, you know, just female curves or any other, you know, imperfections that we judge ourselves by, right? We're not talking about the ideal of beauty that you find in the magazines. We're not talking about, you know, every woman has to be skinny and beautiful. We are talking about an illness. We're talking about obesity. Obesity is an illness. It's an illness that produces more illness, right? Because it directly causes the cardiovascular diseases, diabetes, problems with your joints. It just, the list probably goes on and on and on and on, okay?
Well, people who eat healthy foods don't have these problems. And
so it's not, I'm sorry, just finish the idea, okay? It's not about I want to look good again, or I want you to look good, or I want to be like the ladies in the magazine. That's stupid, right? Mm-hmm. Because those are unrealistic pictures of something that does not exist. Mm-hmm. But because they're all photoshopped and everything. But
yeah, even the pictures of the magazine, pictures of the girls in the magazines, the girls don't even look like their own pictures.
Yes, exactly. Right? So it's about fake. Being healthy, and it's about being active. So when you're talking about, you know, what the husband feels like or what the man feels like, it's not about the man. Raisins.
Why is?
I don't know.
What is it with peeing today? I mean,
they just drank a lot of juice. Yeah. Remember? And they had the open bottle there at the picnic, and they just drank a lot of water. When they drink water, they pee. So when you say, you know, how does the husband feel? It's not about how does the husband feel when he sees that the body of his wife changed. It's more about how does the husband feel when he sees his woman being all passive and happy in her unhealthy state.
That's exactly what I said.
I'm just trying to make it clear so that people don't think that you're being a prick.
No, I'm saying it. I'm talking about the attitude, not how a person looks. I'm talking about their approach to it.
Because you have like after having kids, of course you have stretch marks, and of course you have stretched skin and the saggy boobs and everything. That's normal, but that doesn't mean that you have to be happy and you're 150 kilos and you know, and stay there and just say, oh well, but the kids are to blame, right? Because you can do things about that. You can be healthy and strong. Have you seen my bicep recently? I've got bicep.
Just one?
Yeah, I've got another one. I think this one's bigger.
Right.
Anyway, it really feels really good when you get stronger, right? I mean, you've seen my belly, right? I've got this jelly belly. And it's probably not going anywhere, but
we call it Jabba.
We call it Jabba the Hutt because it really looks like Jabba the Hutt. But the point is that as you get stronger, that's so motivating when you can, you know, when I was exercising today and I was like, I can actually do this. You know, like half a year ago, I was nowhere near being able to do that. You know, it's like planking, and I was like jumping up and down and stuff and while planking. It's like wow. It's like you're a super power person, Marvel character. laser eyes.
Well, one of those secrets is the more you do, the more you can do, basically.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
that's the way it works progressively. Well, this has been an interesting experiment. This has been practical parenting, a little bit of a weekend bonus. We're testing how the technology works. We're trying to stream some text to go with our talking. I'm feeling a bit less energy in this format compared to what we normally do. What do you think?
It might have something to do with the fact that we read things. I told you that things always slow down when we read them.
Yeah, I'm feeling that. I thought it's good to show the articles and to talk about what's in the articles. It's good to give people visual references. It's the same problem I had with presentations for languages, right? Where you need to have some visual references for people, but when you start focusing on the visual references, the energy just drops.
Yes.
In terms of presentation.
Yes, I think the better way to go would be to have a look at the article beforehand, write down like 3 points, and then talk about it. Paraphrase it rather than reading it.
Yeah.
If there is an important information like who wrote it or whatever, you can write that down and read that.
I think probably the best way is, in fact, to read the article, pick out 3 or 4 little key points from the article, and just talk about it rather than show it like this. Yeah. Although I might use this presentational style for some language stuff, because in terms of languages, the visual elements are extremely important.
I like the way some people do the webinars, that I actually put the points on the screen. They don't put the article on the screen or whatever they're talking about in another text, just like a slide with like 3 points. And that way people have the visual cue, so they remember it more easily. But at the same time, they don't have to read little letters, or it's more dynamic. So my hands really hurt, actually.
Yeah. So we'll think about it, and we will see what's possible. This article was from naturalnews.com. It was entitled "Childhood Obesity Skyrocketing Across America." We are the Practical Parenting people. We have the Practical Parenting podcast online, and we try to point you in the right direction with ideas, information, advice, experience, and anything else that we can find. So
I will need a hand massage. Give me a hand massage.
You can have a hand massage on the butt over there, which needs to be wiped. Anyway, you can find out more information about what we do, the Academy of Language Therapy and Life Coaching, on YouTube and Facebook, and www.nsaslovakia.com, and your website
the 21st Century Mom, spell MUM.com.
Okay, wait. Say bye to the people online, because you have to run away and do the kid stuff.
Just touch the hot adapter. Okay. Bye! I gotta go!
Okay, let's break out here. Bye-bye, guys.
I'm coming!